Okay, so we're here to talk about one of my very favorite topics, and that would be eyelashes. So in this tutorial, I'm gonna go over how to apply and some tips and tricks for you. So basically it's just like a general how-to, but hopefully it will take out some of the mystery of just how to apply lashes and different kinds of lashes and things like that. So stay tuned for my tips and tricks and hope you love this video. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually line your eyes. And by lining your eyes, I mean tight lining. You're going to be lining just underneath your lash line. And if it sounds scary, don't be scared. I'm going to explain how to do it. It's actually much easier than it seems, and it's nothing to be intimidated by. Just a little bit of practice makes perfect. And I'm going to show you my favorite tools for doing that. So before I do that, I actually want to mention the reason why you're going to want to tightline your lashes is to help the lash band blend into your natural lashes better. That's the purpose, just so that it looks more seamless. So for your liner, you're going to want to use something that is a water resistant or waterproof. My favorite is Senegence Shadow Sense in the shade Onyx. I love it because it is water resistant and it lasts really, really long time. And then also I use a little tiny flat like paddle brush, basically like this, just to kind of like tuck up under that lash area. It applies the shadow or your liner really, really well without getting it in your eye, so I love this. So all you're gonna do is get a little bit of that shadow or liner or whatever onto your little brush, and I typically just do it on one side and then make sure it's nice and saturated. So it's gonna look a little scary, I promise it's not. You're basically just gonna grab that eyelid, pull it up so you expose that skin under there, and then just paint at the base of your lashes like that, and then blink. So as you can see the difference of this eye versus this eye, now I did tightline a little bit on my lower as well as my upper, but it just basically makes your lash line look thicker. And then when you place the false lash on, it will blend into that line. Once your eyes are lined, you are going to want to top them with a little bit of mascara, which I already had some on, but if you did not have mascara on, this is the point that you would do it. Always put mascara on before your false lashes, not after, because you will ruin them. And honestly, there is no sense in putting mascara on falsies. The falsies are supposed to add volume. So mascara before, not on your falsies. Just a tip, and they will last a lot longer and not look so gunky too. So that's important. So basically you just choose your favorite pair of lashes, and then now I'm going to show you how to fit them and trim them to your eye. And I'm just gonna be using some of my favorites. These are called Prim and Proper from Society Lashes. One thing I do want to point out, for any lash brand, there is always a right eye and a left eye. So basically you just get your little box, hold it up to your eye. This one goes on this eye, this one goes on that eye. And this is for any lash brand. Also, some lash brands have like a little bit of extra tabs on the inside and outside corner. You always want to trim those off, and the reason for that is if you don't, it will kind of itch and bother your eye. So be sure to always trim those little tabs like that. So step one, getting them out of the box, right? I just use my trusty fine needlepoint tweezers, and then I always kind of just grab the outer corner and then gently lift them off of their case like that. Once they're out of their case is when I'm going to just trim off those extra tabs before I measure them and fit them to the eye. So just the excess little piece at the end, but not the actual lashes yet. The next thing I'm going to do is get my lash tweezers. These are specifically made for lashes. And then you just kind of grab them at the curve there, and then this is the perfect way to measure them on your eyeball. Get your lash, look down into your mirror, and basically you're just gonna kind of place it temporarily and see if it's too big. Now this lash I can see has an overhang here, so I'm gonna trim this. As far as placement, you don't want them to go too far into this corner because it's going to kind of tickle this inner part of your eye and itch. So when you're sizing them, you always want to make sure they are not in this little tear duct area. And the start of the false lash, when it is applied, should start after this little tear duct area. So right about here is typically a really comfortable spot to put it. And then they should end just before the end of your eyeball. So I can see from this lash, I need to shimmy it, make sure it's not too far on the inside. And then this little extra section right here is where I'm going to be trimming it off because that is where my eye ends and my natural lashes end. And when you're trimming, you are going to want to trim from the outside lash to the inside lash. Now I know I just needed a notch here, and as you can look, all eyelashes are in bunches, like a bunch here, a bunch here, a bunch here. So based on these bunches, I'm going to want to trim in between those little bunches. So I'm going to start just by trimming off this little outside piece right here, like so. Then once it's trimmed, I'm going to go back with my eyelash tweezer and just place it on the eye to make sure that that is the right fit, or if I need to trim a little bit more off. This eyelash is just lightly placed on there. I do want to point that out. So there's no glue on it yet. I'm just making sure what I've trimmed off works well, so it looks like it starts at the right place and it ends at the right place. So now I am ready for glue. And speaking of glue, my very favorite glue is Duo, but only the Duo in the green box, the one that is white and dries like iridescent and clear. Callas is another brand, C-A-L-L-A-S, and they are the same formula. So either one of those formulas works really, really well. So Callas or Duo are a really solid choice. They dry clear, they're not sticky. Oh, and they're latex free. So if you have a latex allergy, this is a perfect choice for you. So you're just going to hold your lash with your lash tweezer and then get your glue, which this one has like a little applicator, and just brush a little bit, almost like an eyeliner, right along that lash bend. Not too much, just a thin little coat. So that little thin amount is all that you're gonna need for your lash glue, and you're going to want to wait for it to set down and start to dry a little, so it'll turn from like this white, kind of bluish white color to more clear. This process for like the drying and basically getting tacky takes anywhere from like 30 seconds to a minute, and I usually just kind of like wave it around in the air or fan it to get it to dry down a little bit. As you can see, this is starting to dry down, so we're kind of in that little magic time period before it sets all the way, and you're going to set it down in the center of your eye and then tap in the edges. Once you have it placed, you're going to probably need to kind of like shimmy and adjust these inside and outside corners. Now you can use your fingers or you can use your little lash tweezers to just get it in the right spot. And by pinching it down and kind of adjusting it, you're making sure that this base blends in with your natural lash line. And one thing I do want to point out is it glued onto the skin, not onto your lashes. What I mean by that is instead of on the hairs, it is on this skin area right next to where your lash line grows out. If you place it on your actual lash hairs, when you remove it, you could potentially damage your lashes. So just beware of your placement. If you place them properly and you remove them properly, you're not gonna have that problem at all. So don't stress out and look out for the video on how to remove your lashes at the end of the day. The last little step that I like to do is just make sure that this little inner eye area is filled in with that same eyeliner that I used before and the same little brush. So all I do basically is open my eye nice and wide, tap right in here, and basically what that does is it ensures that that lash line goes all the way across, so it doesn't really look like it has a start or a stop line. And so now I'm just going to complete that exact same process, and you can watch and follow along for this lash on this side. There you have it, guys. It's as easy as that. So just those few simple steps to applying your lashes and you'll have it down like a pro in no time, I promise. Practice makes perfect, so just keep trying. And if you want to learn more about different lash brands that I love, I've listed a ton of different styles in all different price ranges. So take a look at my blog and read it and let me know what you think if you hear from the blog. Thanks for coming over and watching. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment, all the things for my channel. I love to have you here and I love to see your comments and let me know what you want to see next. Bye, guys.